Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined by Congressman Cliff Bentz in studio. Congressman, thanks for taking the time.
Great to be here.
So you just hosted your first public town hall at the Jackson County Expo. What did you think of the experience in your meeting with your constituents?
Well, it was really well attended, and that was fortunate for an afternoon meeting. And I'm very, very happy for the turnout. I was very happy for the questions, and the crowd was civil, which was good. So I enjoyed the exchange of ideas.
Well, good that people were civil. You never know these days. And I know you have another town hall at the Ann Basker Auditorium in Grants Pass at 10:30 tomorrow. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So I want to talk, of course, about the massive infrastructure bill that passed this past weekend. You voted against it. Why?
Well, so the primary reason was that it's the doorway, if you will, to another much larger and much more dangerous bill, the so-called human infrastructure bill that President Biden is bringing. So this bill opened the door to that bill, and I don't like that bill at all. This bill, the infrastructure bill, has some good stuff in it, but it's far too reliant on rail. It's far too green in things that we shouldn't be picking winners in. And so there's a number of things that should be paid for by users that are not, and so I don't think we need to be driving up our deficit even further than it already is. So for those reasons, I voted against it.
The Oregon Department of Transportation, of course, ODOT, says it's getting $1 billion from the bill. At the same time, the American Society of Civil Engineers, recently gave a C- grade to Oregon's infrastructure. Do you not think Oregon's infrastructure needs the funding?
Well, Oregon's infrastructure needs a lot of work, and there's all kinds of places it needs work, but that's the problem with the bill. It spends lots of money on things that aren't infrastructure, and if it would simply have focused on that which we need, which are bridges and roads and appropriately designed broadband, then that would have been a good thing. But sadly, no, a lot of it's spent on things that we simply don't need. 13
of your Republican House colleagues have voted for that bill, and now some in your party are asking that these members be punished for those votes. Do you agree with that?
No, they shouldn't be punished for those votes, but I wish they hadn't voted for it. Each of those people made a decision based upon their constituency. Many of those folks are in swing districts. I truly wish they hadn't voted for it, but each representative is their own person, and they should do as they will. And we Republicans have to have a bigger tent, or we won't have enough folks in it to take power.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Congressman Cliff Bentz. Congressman, you recently wrote a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland about illegal cannabis in Southern Oregon. What do you hope to achieve through that?
Well, I hope he follows my request and allocates 20 people to each of the 4 counties down here in Southern Oregon to help our law enforcement teams address this horrific problem you're facing. Your community is in danger. It's being threatened. It's being intimidated, and this can't go on. So I've asked for help based upon what your sheriffs and other law enforcement folks have told me you need. So I was very, very happy to have the opportunity just a few short days after being down here to have Merrick Garland, the United States Attorney General, in front of us in our Judiciary Committee, and got to ask him these questions.
Of course, the federal government's no stranger to the drug war, but is there any precedent to federal agents getting on the ground in the drug war here in Southern Oregon?
Well, there's a precedent, sure. The FBI comes down on occasion from Portland to help out, but we need more than that, and I've asked those questions of your local law enforcement very, very, very carefully, so that when we reached out to the Attorney General, we were asking for exactly what your sheriff said they needed. So yeah, they've been out here before. We need more help.
Last month, you introduced a bill that would curtail the use of habitat designations under the Endangered Species Act for areas not inhabited by an endangered species. Why is that important to you?
Well, of course, it's important because the areas that are not inhabited are areas we should be cleaning up and reducing the crazy amounts of smoke that your community suffers from every year. And we can't do it if people are pretending there's an owl in that space when there isn't. We should be going into those millions of acres and removing the underbrush and reducing the amount of chance of wildfire.
I know this is something you talked about at your town hall today. Your office announced earlier this fall it had helped 1,100 constituents with various issues. How does that work, and what type of problems does your office typically handle?
Well, first of all, I've got to brag on my staff. They're excellent. They do a great job. They address federal issues such as Social Security, veterans issues, the types of things that you encounter and can't figure out who to turn to, you call our office if they involve federal matters. And my staff is great. They'll jump in and they'll help.
Congressman, it's about the second time in about 3 weeks that, as we were talking about, that we've gotten to see you here in person. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you. It's been great.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.